Hello and welcome to this week's edition of WCS Sports Connection. I'm your co-host, Jimmy Qualls, and with me as always is my co-host, Tate Mathews. Tate, it's icy, it's snow outside, it's cold, but things are heating up in the WCS Sports Conference in basketball. But before we get to the basketball, let's talk about football for just a second. Right now, Max Prep's Tour of Champions is fixing to happen. Independence has been chosen on this Tour of Champions. That is being in the top 50 schools out of 17,000 high schools. As we know, currently ranked 32nd overall. That's all classifications mixed in. However, in the middle division, Independence is number 1 in the country. The middle division is that student population of 1,000 to 2,000. The Tour of Champions is coming on February the 5th. This is an unbelievable honor on the football side.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a very neat deal. And, you know, you think about all the great football playing states in this country, Texas and Florida and Alabama, Georgia, and we've got the number 1 middle division. It just goes to show how far high school football in Middle Tennessee, the state of Tennessee, but really Middle Tennessee has come. We've got some really good football. Independence was a great example of that. And, you know, first 15-0 state champion team we've had in Williamson County school systems. And, you know, it's been a great year for them. Great to see them get another big honor. I got to tell you, I saw Coach Blade the other day. He started talking about next year's team. Man, he got me fired up all over again. You know, there's another Johnson coming that he thinks is going to be really, really good. Don't think that we're going to dip back down here now. He thinks that they can go on a run of this is a program now, not just a good football team.
So I had an opportunity to go to the, as they call it, Night of Champions, their banquet over the weekend, and very interesting take to see. First off, to see the love that the community had for this team. It's obvious that the Independence community, made up of the parents and those booster members and whatnot, but you know, Coach Blade got up at the very end and gave his presidential speech. He would probably kill me, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about it anyway. He actually showed aside for just a moment. He got a little bit of emotional towards the end of the speech. It was very spot on, talking about the teaching moments that he gave. That it started off with the Navy SEALs coming in the summer and seeing the team unity that he had of this team. That the day after they got beat, the Monday after they got beat, seniors were back in the weight room going at it. And you know, the chemistry that they had, the leadership that they had, that all the kids bought in, the injuries, the adversity they had to go through. Lost a quarterback, went 4 games without your starting quarterback, who's one of the best players in the state. Didn't lose a game. Matter of fact, they kept on trucking. 10 of the 15 games had a running clock, outscored their opponent 600-plus points. I mean, the stats go on and on. But to talk about the leadership and what these kids meant to Coach Blade, who this is not his first state championship. No. Third, he's been in 3 different states. He's been involved with multiple state championships. But this team really, really was special to him. But it was pretty funny. They gave him a watch as a parting gift for this team, and he's like, we're on the clock as of right now. So, I mean, he is right back to business as usual, looking for next year.
Yeah, and that's what the great ones do. And, you know, it's you were talking about this team. He does. He as a coach, you know, you love all your teams, but this one was very special to him. The Hillsboro team that he won a state championship with as the head coach, they were the last team to beat Maryville in a state championship game until obviously this year when Ravenwood and Coach Will Hester and them did it. And he'll tell you that was a great, great team for those that got to see him play. He'll tell you he'd take this Independence team over that Hillsboro team any day of the week. And that's not a slight on Hillsboro. That's how highly he thinks of this team.
Well, a lot of people, you know, the argument will be something that we'll never know, who the best team in Tennessee was this year. Right now, obviously they finished the year ranked number 1, but how fun it would have been to see Ravenwood and Indy to play. Not only that, Brentwood Academy possibly thrown in that mix. Who was the best out of those 3 teams? But you know, you finished 15-0. You got the gold ball, rings on the fingers. You know, the bar is set awfully high. He is very high on this upcoming sophomore class. Like you said, I think they have a great receiving core coming back on that sophomore class. And I'll tell you what I saw at the banquet itself. A lot of returning players on the defensive side of the ball that were juniors that will now be seniors. So it's not like they're completely falling off the bat. Right. Now, specialty players, quarterbacks, Nate Johnson, obviously what he brings to the table, Andrew Bunch, all those kids, but they have a good returning core coming back.
That's right. And he's been there, 3 years now? This will be his 4th. And so, you know, and that's part of becoming a program. The seniors teach, the juniors and the seniors teach the sophomores and the freshmen how it's done. And now this crew, they're going to start passing it on down. And so by the time it's your turn to start contributing, you know what we're about here. And, there's no breaking in on that. And that's where that leadership really starts to pay dividends. And like I said, he's got this thing rolling now. Obviously, there were some very great players a part of this. But Independence is going to be a force in 5A for as long as they're there.
Well, he was talking about the growth and maturation of a program. When he got there, he really wanted to work on getting the numbers up, doing things right way. I think he said in the offseason they started with 41 kids working out. The next year they had 61. Right now they worked out, as of last week, I think 71 players, the most they've ever worked out in the offseason going in. So everybody, that's what winning does. Everybody wants to be a part of it, and it's going to be fun to see how it plays out. Well, football season's over. And it's basketball season right now, man. We are in the heart of it, the heat of it. 5 district games to go. We had the pleasure of being at Summit last week for the border battle, and what a game that was. Game day was there. Border battle, man. Fire marshal was in effect. I think 2,200 total people there. What an atmosphere that was. Let's start with the girls' side. Z. Esmond crosses the 1,000-point threshold. She needed 19 to do it. What a great night for her. What a great night for the atmosphere there. Now, to go along with John Carter, she is now the first female in Summit history to go over the 1,000-point threshold.
Yeah, and she's only a junior too. And so, that's a great accomplishment anyways. But especially on the girls' side, where sometimes we don't score as many points as they do on the boys' side. To break 1,000 points as a junior, that's amazing. She's an athletic young lady, obviously plays very hard, but what a great accomplishment. And who knows where that's going to end up. So it was a special night. That was an exciting announcement. I think that probably got the most applause of anything outside of when the PA announcer announced that the school had been called off the next day. That was pretty neat too. That was a great environment, man. That obviously I'm a football guy, but environments like last week, that Summit Independence basketball game where the gyms pump like that, a packed high school basketball gym with that kind of atmosphere, it doesn't get much more exciting than that. That was fun.
Summit pulls out the win, 48-37 over Independence. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about Summit. Summit on the edge of something special. Now I'm sure we get people that are tired of talking about Summit on the edge, Summit on the edge. They're in the 5th year of existence. And it's time to make that jump. And right now you can see these things happening right before our eyes this year, things that we've never seen before. The first evers, as we kept mentioning in reference to football, first ever home win, first ever region win, missed playoffs by 1 game. We're predicting that they're going to be there next year. Basketball, first ever wins over Brentwood. Now they've beaten everybody in the district for the first time in history. So it's time to get over that hump. And I'm telling you right now, I had this conversation with Josh Goodwin. He's a competitor. If he was here right now, he would agree with me. He's tired of that moniker as well. He wants to win. It's time to win. We got to get over the hump of being that team that, it's just Summit. In the words of Chad Kirby, we don't want to be the doormat. We want to kick somebody in the shin. So, I mean, they're there. They're right there on the edge of greatness. I really can see that. On the boys' side, they have a team that's good enough. I see them as the Independence of last year. Independence was not 100% sure they were good enough to beat folks. It's the mentality of being young. Summit's kind of doing that, but they're going to have to step up. It's going to be that time where you're going to have to say, come beat us. That's what Indy has done this year. Come beat us. You can't beat us. Can't beat us. I don't care who you are. We're over the fact that when we run out and Brentwood's across the front of your chest, that doesn't mean anything to us anymore. I still think that Summit is slightly in that. They're not 100% certain. Obviously you wait till next year, they're going to be even better. But I feel like this is the year that they can still make that noise if they can get over that mental hurdle.
Yeah, and especially on the girls' side, when you have somebody who can score, that helps. You're not always going to play great. The other team's not always going to play great, and that's something they haven't always had. Obviously, Z she's a junior now, so she was a good player as a freshman and a sophomore. But I mean, when things start going bad, they got a young lady who can go out there and get them points, and that's not always easy to do. And you saw that on the independent side the other night. And I have a lot of respect for Coach Mary Beth White. I think she's one of the best at what she does. And even though it was a loss, they came out and they gave them a run and they scored more points than they have in a while. I think it just goes to show the job she's doing. It'd be easy to pack this in. And they got beat the other night, but it was not from lack of effort at all.
And people are wondering what you're talking about. They're still looking for their first district win. They're 0-6 right now in the district. But it goes back to what we've always said: border battles, Battle of Franklin, Battle of the Woods. Throw the records out the window. It does not matter. You play in front of that environment that they played in front of, anything can happen. And that was a proof of the matter. Summit jumps out to a huge lead on the girls' side, and Independence cuts it to single digits right at halftime, and then now it's a back-and-forth game. It was never really decided until the very end, until it just got out of reach. Right. Like I said, 48-37. The funny thing about that is, girls' game goes 48-37. The boys' game goes 48-40. If you were to tell me that the top two offenses scored 48 and 40, being 88 total points in the boys' game, and only outscored the girls' total points by 3, I would have said you're crazy. But the game plan that Summit brought to the table was a little different than people probably thought. You know, Murphy finished the night with 13 points. It was not pretty for him. I think he struggled a little bit. That's kind of been his motive right now, MO right now. If you put him in a half-court defense, make him press some shots that maybe he shouldn't take, or just kind of off the dribble, that's what we always try to do. A kid that's a great scorer, make them have pull-up 15-foot plus jumpers off the dribble. Okay? Your Division I athletes, your Division I basketball players even struggle with that.
That's right.
The great ones make those shots. I'm going to take a chance every night. Make him pull up off the dribble. If he makes it, good D, that's a good D. Let's go on. We'll take our chances. You got to take those basket cuts, those shots at the baskets away, and make them force. And when that's what the zone was designed to do. Chris Ladd came out. He tried to steal a minute and a half every possession. He knew that Independence right now is a run and gun team, and they are really hard to stop. They're fun to watch in that. Now, the funny thing about that is that's the way Summit plays too. Just not sure at that point in time that the thought process going in was that they were deep or deeper than Independence, so we're going to take a chance. Well, if you look at the game plan the whole time, it was, they ended up getting beat 48-40. The plan works. If you get beat, all of a sudden you're thinking, why would you do that? The question was, can't believe he got them out of the rhythm. They couldn't do what they wanted to do. Well, Grayson Murphy finished with 13. He's averaging 20 right now, and it gave them an opportunity to win. You were at the game. You saw it. Interesting matchup. Now, I would love to see a 100-point game back and forth, but I feel like Coach Ladd was thinking, hey, we're going to give ourselves an opportunity to stay in the game. And I'm not so sure that was not a bad game plan. The only thing that happens is if you miss a couple of shots in that and you get behind, all of a sudden you have to come out of that game plan.
Yeah, it's a lot like their football team. You had to shorten the game. And I think you're right. I think he did do the right thing because of what you just said about the depth. Independence is deeper. Now, these guys are going to see each other again. Who knows who's going to win? But if it does get up to a 100-point game, I don't know that plays into Summit's favor because of depth. I mean, both of them play so fast, and they're both going so hard. And then you got guys, John Carter, obviously is the focal point of their offense, but he's a big part of their defense too. So it's not like he's getting to catch a little bit of rest on the other end, and they both go up and down the court so fast. So I don't know that depth definitely doesn't play into their favor. And you're right. That first quarter, it looked like a brilliant game plan. But like you mentioned, it's okay until you get some misses and then you get behind a little bit and kind of just like in football, you don't want to be playing Independence from behind in football, and obviously you don't want to be playing them from behind in basketball either.
Well, here's where Independence has taken those strides that Summit has yet to get there. Not that they cannot. You look at the game plan. They threw pretty much just what we like to say, the kitchen sink at you, right? Okay, you came out, you're a run and gun team, you like to press to speed the game up. You come out, you go 4 corners first possession. You're thinking, what in the world's going on? You got John Carter out there, you got Ty Carter out there. They're running the four corners for 60 seconds, 90 seconds, and then they go into their quick hitter. Quick hitter doesn't produce anything, then you go into your motion offense, right? So the quick hitter either produces a basket or not, and if at the end of that 60-second, 90-second period, Ty Carter did a tremendous job of splitting the defense, getting in there, and made a few of those shots or kicked out for the makes. Now, when the game was on the line towards the end of the second half, a couple of those floaters that he was shooting didn't go in. Now, you've thrown everything at Independence to throw them off their game, and they're still leading at halftime. Why is that? It's not because Grayson Murphy. It's not because of Pierre Watkins. It's not because of Malcolm Walker. It's because of the kid, and the name escapes me, that came off the bench that hit 4 threes. Yeah. That is the difference in Independence and Summit right now. You threw everything at them. They didn't get rattled. They stayed the course. Coach Glass is to be commended because he didn't try. When they went 4 corners, Coach Glass said, we're going to sit tight for just a minute. Let's figure out what's going on. He didn't press the issue. He didn't bring him out, which was a trap. We're trying to bait you out of that. And he stayed the course. And then they brought the kid off the bench that hit 4 threes when nobody else was expecting it, because we're all geared our defense towards who?
Grayson Murphy.
Grayson Murphy has 13. He leads them when scoring, but the other kid had 12. Now, Grayson Murphy, if you look at his percentages, probably went 4 or 5 for about 20. Now, that's nothing against him. He has the green light. He's the best player. Yes, that's okay. As a coach, that's part of the game plan. But this kid comes off the bench and hits 4 threes in crucial moments when you're right there in a 2 to 4 point game, and all of a sudden, now you're down 7, now you're down 10, whatever the case may be, it takes you out of your stall ball.
Yeah, it does. And you mentioned Coach Glass, and I think he did a great job of it too. And that takes patience, and that's not always easy to do when you're a team that's used to playing so fast. I mean, that took good coaching on his part, good discipline on his kid's part, and hey, we're going to be okay. But we're not going to be able to get this thing back in a run. We're going to have to chip away at it, and they did. And you're right; those threes were huge, and it was just fun to watch, man. Grayson Murphy did such a great job of and I think if you talk to the other teams, that's one of the big things. You can't let him penetrate and break you down, because once he does, you're in trouble. That's what happened. Kids sitting out there, it was target practice.
If you go on to see Grayson Murphy, and that was the first game that you ever saw him play, you would say he's not a Division I player. He didn't play his best game. But
Summit had a lot to do with that.
But you just hit exactly what I'm talking about. Summit, first off, kept the positions low. Number 2, he didn't shoot the ball real well. So he didn't get into his razzle-dazzle types of games that he likes to get into. But he brings his presence to the game that absolutely kills you. He forces a couple turnovers here and there. He gets the ball in the open court, kicks it to the kid that that's the difference in Independence right now in Summit basketball. Now, I'm going to tell you something right now. Ty Carter is one of the best point guards as a sophomore that I have seen play. I saw him make a few passes on the run, on the move, just things that wouldn't show up in the stat sheet. And I'm telling you right now, Ty Carter is a big-time point guard, because he's not a scoring point guard. There's a lot of people who say, well, point guards need to average 20. You need to average 20 in high school. No, not necessarily. If you're a true point guard at the Division I level, your job is not to score. There are plenty of combo guards that are going to be there. John Carter's going to be a combo guard.
Right.
Grayson Murphy's going to be a combo guard. Those are the kids that can put the ball on the deck and also hit the 3. That's not Ty Carter's game. His game is to facilitate the game, get your team in the sets, and get it to where it needs to be. And the number one priority, being able to play defense. And he can do it. Man, he's fun to watch. John Carter's fun to watch. I hope that we change the plan. Let's change the plan. Let's open this thing up in Border Battle Part 2 at Indy. Let's open it up. Let's go full court, 140 all the way, both ways, and let's see who can get to 100 first. And let's see what happens, because I think you need to do that to engage your performance against what happened in matchup 1 to get ready for district championship. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. It does, but you're getting yourself prepared for that district championship and looking at down the road. Lipscomb was in the house. Casey Alexander come to watch. Good game to come watch, because he got a chance to see 3 players that could possibly play at the next level. Speaking of that, Garrison Mathews playing for Lipscomb had a big week, 15 points for him against Florida Gulf Coast, and he was named Player of the Week right there at Lipscomb. He was a former Franklin player, so I'm hoping that Coach Alexander comes in and steals his players, but he's going to have a lot of recruiting to do, because Belmont right now is coming in looking at Grayson Murphy. John Carter, the sky's the limit for him as well. A lot of those mid-majors looking at those players.
Oh, yeah. At Garrison Mathews, and that's one thing I was going to say about Ty. Garrison Mathews doing a great job. Lipscomb, dual sport athlete. He played football for Franklin, was a very good player for him, a big part of the success. What is he doing now?
Playing Division I basketball.
Playing 2 sports didn't hurt him. Ty Carter played football this year. You just talked about how good he is, and so I'm a huge Ty Carter fan for a lot of reasons, but that's a big part of it. He was a big part of that football program. That's a basketball family. He's a big part of that football program, and here he is. He's out here. He's going to be fine, whatever he decides to do. It's good for the kid. It's good for the school. Again, I had to get on my soapbox about
On
that.
this, this is a soapbox from a year ago that we talked about all the time. So we're going to start doing this. We're going to call this the AP alert. Anytime we talk about a kid that found on the radar, we're going to call it the AP alert in honor of Austin Percy. Diamond in the rough. Got to get this kid. Ty Carter gets the AP alert right now. I'm telling you, mid-major folks, come get this kid because this kid is going to be a fantastic player. And according to Coach Coleman, he may have some offers and looks in football too. So, I mean, come get this kid. What a great – I mean, I cannot speak highly enough about John and Ty Carter. What great kids. Not to take away from Murphy kids. We have great kids, period. But these kids are ultimate competitors. You watch them, the hatred between those two schools. He knocks a guy down. He helps him up. Just great, outstanding kids. They're going to have bright futures. You look at this list right here for Coach Chris Ladd currently. Right now, 3 seniors on this team, 2 that are primary players. Colin Hensel and Connor Barnett are the 2 starters. The rest are all coming back. Hey, let's not shortchange Jaden Lewis. Jaden Lewis led all the scores tonight. Sophomore, you watch him play, you're thinking, my goodness, not that the kid can't play, he's too little. He looks like a baby, bless his heart, and he comes out and gets 15. That kid can play.
Yes.
He's got an opportunity as well. If he grows a little bit, he may have some opportunities down the road to play. Post-high school basketball, led the team in scoring, led the game in scoring with 15. Big-time player as well. That's enough about the border battle, but man, how much fun. I can't wait until they go to the Indy Nation, where that place will be absolutely rowdy. It'll be loud. It'll be fun to watch.
Real quick, and game day. Game day was Miss Lamb, Sarah Lamb. She does a great job with it. I think she was the first one we've had that put the entire student body in there, and what a great environment that is. I love the Summit squad and Coach Glass, and she did a great job. Coach Ladd. Anyways, I love doing game day at Summit. I had a blast. I know they got mad at me, but I am 2-0 picking at game day at Summit. So
my record on game day.
Be mad at me, but I mean,
my record on game day is pretty good. I was undefeated until 2 scenarios, and both of them are Summit versus Indian basketball. There, Coach Glass loves it. He wants me to pick against him all the way through because he is undefeated against me right now in that. So, what a fun day that was. Fun environment, fun game. It's just right now I'm telling you, the WCS Sports Conference is going to be awesome in district play. So let's get to it right now. Currently in District 11 AAA girls, Dixon sitting at 18-3, 6-1, showed a little chink in their armor with Brentwood beating them at home. But right now they beat Summit this past week as well, 64-44. Coach, I know that Coach Goodwin doesn't like that. I'd like to see that score. I know he'd like to see that score a little closer because I think Summit's playing pretty good basketball right now. They're sitting in first place. Second place, Ravenwood, 16-5, 5-1, beat Franklin 38-30. Interesting score. Thought that would be a little bit, wider margin. Brentwood, 8-9, 3-3. They've come from the depths up into third place right now. Don't sleep on the Lady Bruins. They beat Centennial 56-45, who Centennial now sitting at 15-3. But 3-3 in the conference right now, lost to Brentwood. They're sitting in fourth and fifth place. Summit, 8-11, 3-4, beat Indy. Lost to Dixon. Sixth place, Franklin, 9-10, 2-4. And in seventh place, Independent, still looking for the first district win. Let's talk about some scenarios. Dixon right now would be that top seed playing against the Franklin Independence winner. That's the game you want to avoid, the elimination game to go home. Regardless of what happens, the winner gets. It's like, hey, you're Bucknell coming into the tournament. Guess who you get? You get Duke in the first round. So right now, winner gets Dixon. I'm not so sure that Dixon can't be beaten, so let's not put them on that mantle yet. Then you got Ravenwood versus Summit. That is an intriguing matchup. I think that Summit needs to try to get them out of that position right now where they wouldn't have to have that 2-5 matchup. Right. And then you got Brentwood versus Centennial, which is also interesting. So the girls right now on that side, those are some interesting matchups.
Yeah, I think you're right. Dixon's clearly top, and then you got a bunch of them in the middle. Now, easier said than done, but Brentwood and Coach Sigenthaler, they gave the game plan. Get Lee Carter in foul trouble, and you got a chance. If you don't, it's going to be tough.
Good luck with that, though.
Yeah, right. Well, they did it.
Well, good luck with that. You could play that 100 times. Good luck with that. She's just she's a difference maker. Yeah. And then you got the two guard, the combo guard. Now, she's a true combo guard in the sense of the matter. I cannot think of her name. Emily, I think is her name, first name.
Beard, maybe?
Emily Beard. She is a player, combo guard, AP award on the girl side. I'm telling you, you better go get that girl. I'm sure she's got plenty of looks. She can flat play. It's going to be interesting right now. On the boys' side, District 11 AAA, Independence right now, head and shoulders better than everybody else. 18-1, one loss coming out of the state. They have not lost in the state of Tennessee yet this year. 6-0, big win last week over Oakland, who also was a one-loss team. Beat them pretty easily. Then they went in and beat Summit. Centennial sitting in second place right now, 13-5, 5-1. Can't say enough about the job that Pete Froden has. KJ LaSure, another AP diaper dandy. Go get him. Look for him right now. They have won 6 straight over Summit, Franklin, and Brentwood. Last 3 wins. Ravenwood sitting in third right now, 11-8. Kind of quietly working their way up the ladder. Ravenwood, don't sleep on them. Summit right now in fourth place at 15-4, 4-3. Brentwood in 5th place out of the depths. Coach Shirley's got his group up into that 5th slot, has worked his way out of the play-in game. That's probably what he wants to try to do right now and stay out of it. Franklin sitting at 6-11, 1-5, and Dixon in last place at 9-11. If we had it today, Tate, Independence obviously gets the 1 spot. They get the winner of the Franklin-Dixon County play-in game right there. That's a deadly matchup. You don't want to be in that game. Centennial versus Brentwood. That's pretty intriguing himself. Yep. I think Centennial has the edge right now because they are playing their mentals, right now mentally they're in a good place. Ravenwood versus Summit.
Yeah, I think you're right. Same thing as on the girls' side. Independence is the clear favorite. That Centennial Summit, I think they want to stay away from each other as long as they can. Those are 2 guys that can pick each other off. I think unless something really goes wrong, Indy's going to be on one side. Centennial Summit, that's going to be a good game if they see each other.
Where would you like to see Independence? You'd like to see Centennial. You'd like to see Ravenwood and Summit. I think all 4 advance into that region. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, our region play is going to be difficult. Cane Ridge sitting over there have not lost a game, or maybe they've lost 1 game. Hillsboro's always a tough matchup. Those would be the top 2 teams coming out of that other side. Then you've got in the sub-state matchups. That means if you get in there if Independence has to get matched up with Cane Ridge in the regional championship, loser will have to go to Stewart's Creek, who's sitting right now undefeated, playing good basketball, and you'd have to travel to them to beat them. That could be a tough matchup to get into the state tournament. So, I mean,
Stewart's Creek hasn't seen Blackman yet. They won't be undefeated come that time.
That's true. That's true. But you have to go there. Loser will have to go there because I really think that Stewart's Creek will win their district. Because you're talking about Mount Juliet, you're talking about the teams, Hendersonville, the teams that are in there. I think they'll win their district and get into that region play and probably win, just like last year where Brentwood had to go over there. That means the loser of this possibly Cane Ridge, Independence, Summit, throw Centennial in there. Whoever loses that game, it's going to be so crucial that they win that game to give them a chance to go to play at home against the loser of whoever lost with the Cane Ridge on the Stewart's Creek side. So it's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out. I mean, there's going to be a lot of good basketball to go.
Yep, it's going to be fun. I think we got a very good chance to get at least 1, maybe 2 back in the Glass House, Murfreesboro. That'd be pretty neat, man.
Yep, that'd be fun. Hey, why not send 2 to the Glass House this year instead of 1 32-year drought coming to an end? We'll see what happens. This has been fantastic. We'll talk about basketball next week. This has been the WCS Sports Connection Show. We'll see you next time.